It's a cold and dreary day, and we're in the shop. And we got the heat on, so we're playing. We just sprayed some white paint there where the marker light goes, so that when we finally paint the car, there'll be paint behind it. And then we're going to paint the marker lights as well. Here's the frame for the front marker light. We got two of them, and of course we painted the one from the other side first. That's always what happens. So here we're just there you go, watching paint dry. Since we got the heat on, we went ahead and pulled this rear splash apron off, and we're going to shoot a little paint on the inside of that, since everything is warm, because as soon as we turn the heat off, it'll go cold again. And we decided, since we had this panel out on the side of the engine compartment, to put some vents, if you want to call them that. We'll kind of cut some slots in that panel just to allow hot air to escape out. Ideally, we'd do some louvers, and I'm not a louver guy, so we're going to use our hole punch to punch the ends of those slots, and then we'll use the cutoff wheel, death wheel, to cut the slots open, clean them up, and that'll give us some openings there to let the heat out of the engine compartment. We'll see how that works out. So here we have our handy dandy little hole punch, and we're going to crank away on that thing and see if we can poke a big hole in there. And just like that, man, we even stayed inside the lines. Unbelievable. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more to go. See if we can get focused here. If you've never seen how one of these works, basically it's a two-piece affair with a bolt in the middle, and you have this cutting tool, there we go, on the back side, and then the cup on the other side, and you just crank down on that thread, and basically what it does, it just pulls that cutting tool through the metal and makes the hole. And primarily these are used by electricians to make holes for conduit and things like that, but car guys use them too. Here we have the engine side of this panel. I think the holes look better than the slots. We just eyeballed them so they're not totally uniform, but down in the engine compartment on an angle, yeah, only you and I are going to know. I think it looks good. Problem is, now I got to do the same thing to the other side. Well, the weather was halfway decent, so we spent what seemed like several hours putting that inner fender panel back in. Quite a few nuts and bolts. There's a whole row of bolts on the outside there that go into the tube, and there's a row of bolts up here, and a row of bolts back there, and some more in the front. And we got almost all done. I went to put this bolt in, and things didn't want to fit right. If you kind of have a look, see here, doesn't sort of fit right. So we looked at the other side. Oh dear. This panel needs to go behind the panel that it's now in front of, which means the very first thing we did when we put that in there was wrong. And now we have to take all the bolts out and start all over again. So that's the way it goes some days in the backyard. Sometimes you get the bear, sometimes the bear gets you. But not fun, not fun. You know, when you get old, you don't have a lot of hours to waste. So It pays to pay attention to what you're doing. This job is killing me. We put the inner fender back in. It's actually the second time I recorded this, because the first time, for some reason, it recorded for 4 seconds and then decided to go to take a nap or something. I don't know. Anyway, we've got it back in. We got it fitted where it's supposed to be, there and there. We got all the nuts and bolts in. By the way, in case you don't notice, it's gotten dark outside. So this thing is just fighting all the way. One of the things we did, you can see there, we put some little cuts along that edge there, because there's a curve to that holds the fender up, that piece. And before, it was just a piece of angle iron, and you had to kind of force it to follow the curve. So we put a couple of cuts in there, and that allows the top piece to curve, and we still have the benefit of the angle iron. And what's happened now that's fighting us is the OG just put some threaded holes into some tubing under here, and we've had the screws in and out enough that now the threads are foobar. So what we're going to have to do is take that piece off again and put some nut certs in there, and we probably also got to make that fit just a skosh better there. We had to grind this end to make it fit, and it almost looks like it wouldn't hurt to grind it a little bit more. I don't know, it looks like it's doing okay. But after we do that, let's hope we should be able to put the fender back on and move on to other things.